Episode 2 of NBA Live Stream of Consciousness. Game is the game. Go ahead and check out the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum video that I dropped. I'm dropping another one of those videos tomorrow on the New York Knicks. So stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and touch what's going on in the league today. There was another trade today, just minuscule players, but interesting enough, Nikhil Walker and Juan Hancho Gomez are going to Utah. I think this trade is interesting because, they're trying to go for it. A lot of talk about the fate of Donovan Mitchell if this team gets bounced in the first round. So they're doing anything they can to stabilize the team. Joe Ingles being traded for those two players, I think it's probably disappointing. I think that the Jazz, especially their fans, probably wanted something better. They had hopes of Jeremy Grant or Harrison Barnes, and it seems like those trades were out of their pay grade. So, they got players that can contribute, and particularly the Nikhil Alexander Walker kid is a young kid. So, maybe he's someone that can grow for them. But I think that as a Jazz fan, I think they wanted more established players, and they didn't get that. Like, once again, like a Harrison Barnes or Jeremy Grant, and they don't have that. So it's just a Jazz prediction, and we'll get to this in the playoffs. I just don't see them as a team that can contend. And this definitely hurts the Jazz because they would need one of those players to really put themselves in that conversation. All eyes are on Brooklyn and Philadelphia and on the Lakers. The Lakers last night got blown out by Milwaukee. A lot of cryptic things were said by LeBron, just saying that, this team isn't good enough. And we all know that. He could have told you that before the game. Russell Westbrook played the good soldier when he got benched versus the Knicks, but was upset this game. What did he say? He said, he shouldn't have to hit a benchmark, to be honest. I've put a lot of work in, and I've got a lot of respect in this game. I don't have to hit benchmarks, and I shouldn't. I've earned the right to be in closing lineups. I mean, it's time for a trade. I mentioned it yesterday. John Wall for Eric Gordon. One of my concerns with Wall is, was he in shape? Oddly enough, a video comes out today on Instagram. He's hooping, he's dunking. He looks like he's in good shape. If you just watch his highlights from last year, you can just see, obviously, he's a better fit than Russell Westbrook for this team. He's a pass-first player. LeBron, even at his age, is still a really good downhill player, fast break player. You can, push the pace with him. Excellent passer. Bring in Eric Gordon. Even add none to that package. I talked about a Russell Westbrook THT package. Add none to the package if that's the pot for them. But I think they definitely have to make a trade. Standing pat just doesn't make sense. Yeah, and it's not fair to Russell Westbrook either. The player that he is, what he's been in this league, to have to come off the bench and to sit out fourth quarters. They tried it. It didn't work out. I think you hire fast, you fire fast. That's what intelligent businesses do. That's what intelligent people do. There's no shame in saying, hey, we tried it, it didn't work. There's no shame in failure. There's shame in cowardice. And I think this cowardly thing to do is to continue to push this because we would get criticized or the naysayers will be proven right. The naysayers and the people that criticize, they're going to criticize you regardless. They're going to really criticize you if you don't win a title. So if this AD LeBron experiment only fetches one title, especially in a league like it is this year where it's really up for grabs, I just don't see a reason why you wouldn't do it. Switching gears, the Suns, Philadelphia game last night. Doc Rivers said that we need another guard. Joel Embiid was asked about Ben Simmons possibly coming back, and he says, I'm not here to babysit, and if a guy comes back, he has to be bought in. And I agree with that sentiment, but I think it's time for a trade for them as well. I think my points yesterday, I think it's a good trade for Brooklyn, and it's a good trade for the Sixers. the Brooklyn Nets need to secure their future. And one of the concerns that I had was the way that Harden has played in previous games. But once again, I went back and looked at it, how he just became a cheer pit as soon as the water of Brooklyn was splashed on him from, the dry earth that he was in Houston. And I think the same thing is going to happen if he gets traded to Philadelphia. So I'm not worried about that. And in regards for Brooklyn, I know that, their pride might be wrangled a little bit, but this situation might implode on them. And with all the picks that they owe Houston, with all the players that they gave to away in this trade, all the young players that they drafted, very astutely well, they gave up Jared Allen, who was an all-star snub this year, gave up Karis LeVert, gave up Spencer Dinwiddie. These are players that they found diamonds in the rough and were able to rebuild off of the disaster that was the Paul Pierce and the KG trade years back. And you might be looking at the same thing, because what happens if KD comes out and says next year that he wants to get traded? So if James Harden leaves this offseason, what happens then? I think that you have to put a team around KD. He's the one that's consistent, rain, sleet, or snow, KD is going to play. So you need players to add to him. So I definitely think that you should just get out in front of this, read the tea leaves, read the signs, and make the trade and be an adult about it. So we'll see. What else is going on in the league? My man, our dog, said he wanted me to make a video about Reggie Miller and Ray Allen. Reggie Miller being better than Ray Allen. Listen, if I'm going to be honest with you, and I think we need to have a serious discussion about this. I didn't have the show when I did the NBA Top 75 came out, but why is Reggie Miller on the list instead of Klay Thompson? What skill is Reggie Miller better than Klay Thompson at? Why is Reggie Miller on that list in front of Klay Thompson? That NBA Top 75 thing, that was total politics. I think it was a shamakery. But once again, explain to me like I'm a fourth grader. Top 75 players in NBA history. What is Reggie Miller better than Klay Thompson at? Explain to me like I'm a fourth grader. Why? That list is a shame. There's a lot of players on that list, like Draymond Green not being on the list, Chris Webber not being on the list, Dwight Howard not being on the list. The politics is insane. The politics is insane, bro. How? Explain it to me. Let's put those players aside. Explain it to me. Our dog, thank you for supporting. But explain it to me. Explain to me how Reggie Miller gets on the top 75 list in front of Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, a better shooter, better defender, better off the bounce, won more titles, more historic playoff performances. Listen, Reggie Miller, those three-point shots in the Garden with the choke symbol, his back and forth with Spike Lee in the Garden, great, all-time, legendary. But can we be honest about that situation? The Knicks team didn't win anything, and Reggie Miller didn't win anything. Klay Thompson, his historic performance versus OKC, that was with a champion team with the Warriors and a championship caliber team and whose players have gone on to win titles in OKC. I mean, if you put them together, there's no comparison. This is propaganda. I saw that list and I said, man, it's a shame. It's a sad commentary what this league has come to. Why is Reggie Miller on the list in front of Klay Thompson? Explain it to me like I'm 4 years old. Put colors, diagrams, whatever. Explain it to me, man. It doesn't make any sense, man. So, all right, I don't want to, I don't want to do too much, but Reggie Miller over Klay Thompson, come on, make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. Ja brushes off flagrant foul as the Grizz cruise. So the Grizz, they've been talking a lot of shit this year. They've been talking a lot of shit. A lot of players don't like it. Desmond Bane got into it with somebody. The other day they were about to fight. Somebody wanted to fight. I'm talking all that shit. Listen, the Grizz, let's look at the standings. The Grizz are 38-18. So they're not firmly in third place. The Jazz are in striking distance. The Mavericks are in striking distance. A lot of teams are actually in striking distance, but this is a great season for them. They've never done anything in this league. They haven't won a playoff series, but they're trying to, mark their territory. To me, it's easy to talk shit in the regular season. It's easy. Let's see you do this in a 7-game series. It's easy to talk in the regular season. Well, let's see if you can do this in a 7-game series. Let's see if you'll talk shit when you're down 2-1 and you're going into the fourth quarter down 4. It's easy to talk. It's easy to talk, fam, when, So, I like the Grizzlies. I like Ja. Check out who has the belt series. He's going to be featured prominently in the point guard position. I'm probably going to drop that next week. I didn't get the clearance that I wanted, but so I'm going to have to do some editing to the thing. But he's going to film it prominently in it. So I respect them. I like what they're doing, but all this shit talking that they're doing and all this, we don't care and we're trying to establish ourselves. That's the regular season, fam. Remember when the Atlanta Hawks of days of future past, remember that team with Jeff Teague and Horford and Cal Korver and Millsap? Remember they're all, the Hawks, 60-win team there and got swept. What do you do when trash is on the ground? You sweep it. Got swept. Remember that? Okay. So, Ja and them, hey, it's nice, but summer is coming. This isn't a winter league, opposite of the Starks. The summer is coming. And let's see what you guys do in the summertime. Let's see if what happens in May when it's out, when sun out, gun out. Let's see when the guns is out, when people is locked in, when we're looking at scouting reports. Let's see if y'all talk shit then. And if y'all do, y'all do. We need a villain in this league. I know people like Barkley and them said things have gotten too chummy. So we need villains in this league. So maybe, hey, you guys will be the villainous team, but okay, let's see it. Let's see what happens in the playoffs. Can you win at least one playoff series before y'all start barking at the GOAT, barking at Bron? Can you win at least one playoff series? Okay. Well, let's see it. Let's see it. What else do we have here? That's pretty much it for today. Not too much going on. The trade deadline. I don't want to talk about trades and rumors and stuff like that because there's so many and it just ends up being pointless. But as far as teams that need to make a trade, the Lakers need to make a trade. There's no shame in failure. There's shame in cowardice. And it would be a cowardly thing to do to keep Russell Westbrook on this team when it's obvious that it's not working. John Wall is available. Make that trade. And Brooklyn and Philadelphia. I think people need to get out their feelings. Feelings shouldn't stop you from making this trade. And then also, let's go ahead and get into a little gambling before I get out of here. I've been making some money. One thing that I've noticed, and I was just talking to my man about this, a lot of the favorites have been winning. The favorites have been dominating. I think we're getting close to All-Star break. A lot of people are packing it in. These 3 seasons have kind of been jumbled together. I think a lot of teams are running out of gas, the COVID situation. So look at the favorites. I say that to say that I like the Warriors today as an underdog. +2. I think anything lower than 4 points, you might as well just take the money line if you like the dog. And what is the other game that I liked today? Give me 1 second. I love the Raptors at Oklahoma City. The Raptors have been playing well. That is one of the sneaky teams in the league. I'm going to do 30 for 30s on every team, 30 minutes on every team every 2 weeks, starting after the trade deadline, after rosters get more stacked. But I think that the Toronto team, that's a team that everybody should be ducking when it comes to playoff time. So thank you for tuning in. NBA live stream of consciousness. The game is a game.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, you know?
The game is a game.
Always.